Gentlemen present, today I've decided to talk about a very prominent topic in our society right now, and that is guns. So I'm going to start with a couple of disclaimers. The first one being that I'm not really here to completely change anyone's mind on guns. I know it can be a very passionate subject, but I am here to try and hopefully get people to think about this when the topic of gun control comes up. My second disclaimer is that I have grown up around guns my entire life. That's not actually me, that's my brother. I tried asking for pictures of me, but apparently my parents like him better because they only have pictures of him. But you can see we've been around guns since we were very little. So when it comes to the topic of gun control, what often is discussed is assault rifle bans. So the first problem with that is that there's no technical definition of an assault rifle. It could be semi-automatic, automatic, has a magazine, has a certain kind of stock depending on who you ask. So for instance, show of hands, how many of you think that kind of looks like an assault rifle? So that might be something that somebody would consider an assault rifle, however that's a pump action shotgun. Has a magazine, but it is pump action and it's a shotgun. This is a pretty standard hunting rifle. However, it's closer in definition to what somebody might consider an assault rifle. It's got a magazine, semi-automatic, it's a rifle. The second problem with assault rifle bans is that most of these assault rifles have a relatively low damage output. So this is a .223 cartridge. This is what's found in an AR-15. This is a .308. This is about twice as large a round and longer than the other one. This is a standard hunting round. A .30-06, another standard hunting round, is even bigger than this. But that is what's in most assault rifles. The other problem is that assault rifle, or any rifle in general, at close range, is not the thing with the highest damage output. So here in this target, you see 3 bullet holes. That's 3 trigger pulls of an AR-15. This is 1 trigger pull of a shotgun. At close range, a shotgun can do much more damage than any rifle. Let's also take a look at the statistics. So in any given year, rifles, any rifle, hunting rifle, assault rifle, kill less people than blunt objects or fists. Same with shotguns, kill less people than either one of those two things. And combined, they kill about half as many as knives and other cutting objects. Most gun deaths in the United States are from handguns, which I will get to in a moment. Also, when we often talk about assault rifle bans, it's usually in the wake of a mass shooting. But your odds of dying in a mass shooting are actually very low. They are about 3 times as likely as being killed in an airplane, boat, or spaceship incident, assault by a sharp object, any force of nature, or choking on food, and about 3 times less likely than dying in a bicycling accident. Now, it's often stated that on the average day, 96 Americans are killed with guns. That statistic, I will not debate. That is a valid statistic. However, there is some background information with that. About 62% of those deaths are suicide. Guns just happen to be the tool. Banning guns, especially rifles, which are not often used in suicide, would not cut into all of these particular deaths. And even if we take the 96 per day statistic, that is around 35,000 deaths per year, or about 0.0113% of the population each year dying from gun deaths. However, several studies of the CDC have found the following information. The first is that guns are used defensively 500,000 to 3 million times per year. Now this doesn't have to be a firing of the weapon, it can be just brandishing the weapon. So at the low end, that is approximately 15 times more than there are deaths related to guns every year. At the high end, it's just short of 100 times. The other thing that the CDC found in a separate study is that those who use guns in self-defense of an assault are more likely to escape unharmed than any other method of self-defense, including martial arts, sharp objects, or any other kind of self-defense. A gun was the best option to defend oneself. Also, there's correlational problems. It's often said that more guns will equal more deaths, more crime. Well, as we can see, these are the number of guns purchased in the United States from 1998 to 2012. It rises pretty steadily. However, the national murder rate in the same time period has steadily decreased. Not to say that one causes the other, but there is not a correlation between higher gun purchases and higher murder rates. We also hear a lot of people worried about concealed carry. Anyone could be carrying a weapon and you don't know who might have one. However, a study posted in the Washington Post found that in general, people who had concealed carry compared to off-duty police officers who have a lower crime rate than the general population were 1/10 as likely to commit a misdemeanor or felony compared to the off-duty police officers, and 1/7 as likely to commit a firearms violation. And most of these firearms violations actually have to do with forgetting to carry the license, not necessarily brandishing the weapon or causing harm with the weapon. Lastly, the point I want to make is that those who wish to do harm will find a way to do harm. We live in a world where, unfortunately, people sometimes wish to do us harm. In the wake of the Sandy Hook shooting, a man stabbed 33 people to death in China, where guns are strictly prohibited. Sandy Hook killed 26. This man killed more with a knife in about the same amount of time as Sandy Hook. Mass stabbings in China have been a relatively large problem in the last decade, and most people there have no means of defending themselves. So when it comes down to it, to those who wish to do harm, they will find their way. So at the end of the day, knowing that guns can be used in self-defense numerous times per year, and that they are the best defense in the case of assault, it is often better to come down on the side of freedom and allow people to protect themselves the way that is best for them and that they see fit when it comes to the topic of gun control. Thank you.